Welcome to the garden, week 2. So, as you can see behind me, as I move the camera, you can see that we already have sprouts. So many of the ones that we planted last week are starting to sprout. Even in our egg carton, we're getting a little bit in there, but those aren't ready for me to take the lids off. So, as you can see, all the different sprouts are coming in, and even in our hood. And so in another video, you're going to see me transport some of these that are in the hood into the cups because they're already touching the top of the hood. But this is just 1 week, and these that have not sprouted take a little bit longer, and so they will remain covered. Well, this week we're going to take some of the seedlings that we had in our dome, and we're going to transport them into the larger pots. And as you can see, I have 2 that have also really starting to sprout, and I know that cucumber, both of these are cucumber, I know that they're going to get much bigger, and so because of that, I want to go ahead and take them and place them in the larger size pots. Now, I actually have 3 different size pots. So I have my little ones, I have my medium sized ones, and even outside in my yard, I have the larger pots, which I'll use as the plants get larger. But for right now, what we're going to do is go ahead and take my organic soil and open the bag. So go ahead and cut the bag open. And I still have my seedling soil that I used last week because I still want to use that as well. I'm going to mix those. And here is my handy scooper that I'm going to use. And this is going to get messy, so I am going to go ahead and put on my gloves. Now, what you will see is I'm going to start with the 2 cucumbers first and transport them into the larger size pots. Now, again, these pots, as you can tell, have been used. Oh, this one even has seeds in it, so I'm glad I checked because we do not want to plant the dirt on those seeds because they probably will end up growing. So I'm going to go ahead and pour those seeds onto a paper towel. Those were probably from last year's season. I'm going to start with my larger pot and take my base so that the soil doesn't come out. And I'm going to go ahead and start with my organic potting soil. Now this potting soil looks more like twigs and weeds. It's not, I like potting soil that doesn't have so much bulk or mulch-like stuff in it, but it's okay. It'll work. And then maybe just a little bit more into my pot. Because this time, I do want to not fill up the entire pot, but I do want to have a lot of soil in here, unlike my first ones. So you see I put the seedling soil in the middle, and I'm going to do one more scoop of the potting soil on top of the seedling soil. Then I'm going to go ahead and mix it together. Mix it up. And I'm going to push all the soil out. So what I like to do is first take my cup, push it down into the soil. And when I do that, it kind of gives me a little bit of a hole in a bridge. As you can see, it kind of fell in. But that helps me be able to put it in. I'm going to take my tab out. And I'm going to use it to soften the sides. If you don't want to use your tab, you can also use this tool here. I just want to break it off the sides to make it a lot easier to dig it out. Now, considering that there are 2 in here growing, I do plan to separate them. So I'm going to hit the sides And as you can see, the roots are already beginning to come out the bottom. So I want to be very delicate as I turn it over. Put it to the side because I will reuse that one. And I'm going to stick them down in here. Wow, we actually have 3. I just found another root. Because remember, we planted 2 to 3. So I'm going to separate them. Give them a little bit of space. Because the thing is, you really don't know which ones are going to make it. They can look great starting out, and then before you know it, they die off. Take the rest of my dirt. Use it. Put in here. Make sure the roots are definitely covered. We don't want any roots sticking out. And now it's ready to go. And we'll do the same thing for the next one. Now I am ready to take my hood and go ahead and take the hood off. You remember I taped it, so it's still taped on the back end. And I'm just gonna take the ones that are sprouting and go ahead and put them into my smaller pots here. So go ahead and put on my gloves. First things first, I need soil in the pot. I'll go ahead and put some soil in. In this case, you don't have to put a lot of the seedling soil because it's already inside of a pot. We just want to make sure we have enough soil in here so that it's completely surrounded. And I'm just going to use my fingers to kind of make a hole. And I'm going to pick up my pot and just stick it right down into my soil. And then I'm going to take some more soil. And just make sure that I have enough around it. Again, this isn't my favorite because it has lots and lots of wood chips in it. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of the other soil on top. And I'm going to do that for each one of these. Again, my soil. Now here's the thing, if you run out of cups, these are going to get bigger. And I can put multiple ones inside the bigger ones, which is what I'm going to have to do because I only have so many of the small ones because the rest of them are still growing or they haven't even sprouted yet. And the thing is, I need to remember that these are all lettuce. So I'm gonna put them all, I'm losing my lid. And this soil is kind of dry, so we'll talk about how much moisture needs to go into the soil and once I get them all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest. Okay, since I am out of the small containers, I am now going to put a bunch of my Swiss chard into one of my larger containers here. So I'll take a larger container, and this is my mid-size container. I'm not working with the larger ones just yet. I will save those for my tomato plants because those will get big and eventually they'll be too big for the small and the medium-sized pots. This soil has lots of chunks in it, so I'm breaking up the chunks before I put it in the pot. right up here at the top. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the Swiss chard. And I'm actually, because I'm trying to get this into the bigger pots, I'm going to break the outer seal. I didn't do that for the small ones, didn't have to, but because I'm putting multiple ones in here, I kind of want to spread them out a little bit where I can. Again, I'm gonna get all the roots down in here. And you don't have to do this if you're afraid you might break them or they might bend. You don't have to do what I just said. You could just stick them in there like I did before, inside with the entire pot. But for this particular one, I'm gonna break it up. I'm gonna put 3 pods inside here. Gently break them apart and stick the roots down inside where I can. Now, once again, you could have started from this particular larger container, but we started from our pot group. And I'm going to keep all of the seed starter. This one I'm not going to break up because they're already falling apart and I don't want to break the stems. So I'm going to just leave it. And I have room for the last 2. And there's one that didn't grow, so I'm going to leave it inside of the pot. And at this point, it probably won't grow if we don't see it, because they pretty much all grow at the same rate. And there's one more. And it looks like we have a seed that grew in down in between. And I know it's Swiss chard because it has the purple stem. So I'm gonna go ahead and gently place it in there. And we've got the last one. So now I have all my Swiss chard in one pot. I could have let it grow directly inside the pot, but as you will see as these get bigger, there wouldn't be enough room for all of them. Therefore, they end up in my big pot. All right. I'm gonna do the same thing for my turnips because these are also plants that will get extremely big. So I'm gonna put 2, I have enough for 2, 4, there's 6 of them. I'm gonna do 3 pots of the turnips. And then I also have to write out my stick because I don't want to forget what they are. Okay, so you see I have them all transferred, the ones that I can. And some of them are very dry because I just put soil in them, and other ones you can see the moisture compared to the ones that are dry. So the ones that are dry, I'm going to use my watering can. For the ones that are moist, I'm just going to use a little spritzer because I do not want to overwater these plants or they will not grow. So for the dry ones, I'm going to just go ahead and put some water into the dry soil, and then I will spritz at the top. Don't want to overwater, so if you notice, I'm just barely putting a little bit in there. Because you can always overwater just as much as not watering enough. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna put in there for right now. Put my little can over here. And it's always best if you can water your plants earlier in the day. Less chance for mold and mildew. And you can get one of these spritzers from online, like I did. Just look up spritzer or sprayer. You can find them at the hair store as well. And I'm just making sure that they're damp but not overwatered. And as they get bigger, if they need more water, I will add more water to them. But for right now, I just want them moist. I don't want to soak them in water. This is a very fragile state that they're in right now. Happy gardening!